International Icon of the Year at IIFA. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm really excited. This is a great honor. I always say that, when awards come, you've got to obviously, there's a feeling of humility to accept it, but then there's an added responsibility to make sure that you don't just rest on it and you keep working even harder. So it's like an incentive almost in a way to work harder, to bring more, and to be able to entertain all of you for a very, very long time.
You also won the award for Change Maker, right? And you're really passionate about education for the girl child. What are the inroads that India is making into it, and what are the changes that are coming about? And you're an active part of it.
So to be really honest, that's a very, very extensive answer if I have to give you, because I will have to basically make sure that every sector that I talk about will be properly represented, and I'm talking about those inroads being made in almost every sector. But if I can just narrow it down to what is most important right now, I think it's a mindset change that is really, really required before we get into policy work and government and school work and all of that. Before we do all of that, I think the mindset change is very important. So the fact that the government has embraced the importance of this mindset change, they've also actually embraced Girl Rising to be part of the national campaign, the Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao campaign. I think that is the most important, because where do you start if fathers don't understand that their daughters need to go to school, if mothers don't understand that at the age of 18 the girls don't need to be married, they can continue their education. So it's almost like in many ways, to the best way to put it is, before you get into economic and political work, let's just get down to the social of it all. And I think the mindset change is a massive inroad to make. So the fact that we've started on a small level, I think it's very important.
Speaking of women empowerment, back home in India, there's a huge furor about a comment that Salman Khan had made. He said after training he felt like, like a woman would feel after she was raped. So, this comment has created a lot of controversy back home. So do you think stars need to be more responsible when they speak, or do you think because they're stars, every word of theirs is criticized?
Well, it goes two ways. The context in which someone says something is always very, very important as well. There are sometimes I feel, and this is not to talk about this particular comment, but some people might say something that is not really wrong, but we do come from a kind of a little bit of a sensitive culture where it does irk us a little way, and in ways that probably are blown out of proportion, and not this particular one, because I actually took offense as well. But I feel like it's there is definitely a sense of responsibility that comes with it, and it's important at that point in time for whoever that person is to feel responsible enough to either clarify and apologize, or stand their ground if they did say something right.
He regretted that 2 seconds later. He regretted the same thing.
But most people do regret, and most people who know that they've said something wrong.
Highlighted, actually.
Which is unfortunate, right? Which is unfortunate, and that is the job of the media, to make sure that if someone does say something wrong and they want it, and it's really if they see that they're being honest about it and sincere about it, to highlight that part as well. So hopefully I'm not going to always say the right thing at the right time. Sometimes after a long, tiring day, I wouldn't say something like that ever. but I might say something that could be misinterpreted.
But you did say this comment offended you. So.
I feel because when you first read it as a woman, when you read something like that, it jumps out as a bit of a shocking statement, But of course, like you're saying as well, that if someone did apologize, highlight that as well.
Yeah, that too, because it's been conveniently just ignored. Which is unfortunate.
Yeah. People can go into all kinds of permutations, combinations whenever it comes to something like this, and everybody wants to analyze and everybody wants to digress. So instead of focusing on just what one person said, let's really focus on the issue at hand.
Exactly.
Is rape not something that happens in our country? Let's focus on the fact that why does it happen? Why has that mentality of how women are valued and girls are valued, why has that not changed? Exactly. Let that be a conversation starter for something much bigger and much more important that is happening in our country today.